Epic landscape photos are usually taken with proper cameras, expensive lenses, and thoughts and prayers for epic conditions. But what if I only use my vlogging camera? Well, this is probably not going to be happening to me very often, where I only have the Osmo Pocket 3 with me as camera because, well, I'm a photography vlog channel. But your situation might be a little bit different. And if everyone is saying gear doesn't matter, is it really such a bad thing? Well, it's not that simple. Let me explain. You see, modern cameras generally used to take those epic photos would have a big ass sensor, which helps in collecting more light, getting you detailed and cleaner images. Some of these also boast high resolution such that you can zoom into the photos and look through someone's soul. Zoom lenses are generally preferred in landscape photography over prime lenses so that you can have more variety in your photos, and also one more step on a hike and you might just end up falling on a cliff. Not so ideal. When taking our photos, we also really care about our camera settings, and most importantly, these gears can cost your life savings. Now the Osmo Pocket 3, none of the above. It's got a 1-inch sensor, only 9 megapixels of resolution, and a fixed focal length of 20mm. So in terms of photography, the only shots that we can take are wide-angle photos with no room to crop. It's also got a fixed aperture of f2, so that means that in terms of camera settings, we don't really have a lot of flexibility. But are those really excuses if it's the only camera we can use? Let's find out. So for this challenge, I'm taking you to one hell of a hike here in Hong Kong. Welcome to Pat Sin Leng, a 12-kilometer hike that takes 7 hours to complete and passes through 8 different peaks, giving it the name the Ridge of the 8 Immortals. Can't think of a more epic name for taking epic photos. The weather today is very sunny, which is promising because there will be some good light later on for taking sunset photos. And also, if it's going to be raining or wet, then it might cause a problem for the Osmo Pocket 3 because it's not weather sealed. So at this moment, I have been hiking for a little over 4 hours, but I still have a long way to go. But in the meantime, I did take a couple of test photos already because in photography, you do want to give yourself some time, slow down, take some warm-up photos so that later on when the time is right for the light and taking photos and finding compositions, then you wouldn't be really panicking around. So it's good to give yourself a creative warm-up.
Because of the harsh light with zero cloud coverage, honestly I didn't expect so much about the day, and most of the initial test shots I was really just playing with the contrasty scenes while accepting my constraint in focal length. But looking at this first set, if there are any indication of the results at golden hour, I think we're gonna be in for quite a surprise. Before that though, I still need to survive this epic hike.
The last time that I did this trail was over 5 years ago. I was a lot younger, I didn't have my body aches and knee pains, but I did claim that I'm gonna be taking photos in an epic adventure. So subscribe for more photography adventures like this. I bet I know what you're thinking. I bet you're thinking that I'm cheating and I'm actually using my big camera to take photos as well. And how dare you, because you're absolutely right. I haven't been on this trail for 5 years. It's a lot of effort coming here, so I'm going to be taking my usual landscape photos at the same time. But at least I can also compare the results of this camera as compared to the photos I'm taking with the Osmo Pocket 3. So it's for science. So because it's already golden hour, some quick photography settings on the Osmo Pocket 3. So because I plan to edit my photos later on, I am going to be setting the format to JPEG and RAW so that I have flexibility to adjust the color grading and the look of the photos thereafter. In terms of my camera's exposure, I'm going to be using manual mode so I can adjust the shutter speed based on my preferred settings later on. But I still prefer to have some auto settings on ISO and auto white balance because the screen on the Osmo Pocket 3 is very tiny, so adjusting all those different settings is quite difficult. In terms of the focus mode, I'm going to be setting it to continuous mode so that the camera just continuously looks for the proper subject. And we have to remember that the Osmo Pocket 3 has a built-in gimbal. So I'm setting the gimbal mode to follow so that whenever I pan or tilt, the camera head is going to be following along.
I'm gonna be honest that my initial plan was to reshoot this frame I took 5 years ago with the Osmo Pocket 3, but I realized that I had to go through more peaks to get to the spot.
4 hours. What the fuck?
So I decided to turn back.
I don't want to be staying alone in this trail at night
and enjoy the sunset views from the final peak of the 8 Immortals and save energy for the hike going back.
Honestly, the most surprising thing about the Osmo Pocket 3 today is that it still has some battery, considering I've been using it for videos and photos the whole day. But yeah, it's already past sunset, so I think I'm gonna be heading home and we can take a look at the results and I'll be sharing with you some thoughts. This isn't really the first time that I've used the Osmo Pocket 3 for photography, and in fact the biggest video on this channel so far is based around this premise. But I have to tell you that the results this time around really impressed me. But before I share with you the final set of photos, a few thoughts so that you know what you're getting yourself into if you use this camera for photography. Honestly, the shooting experience isn't really fun because, simply put, the screen on this thing is really tiny that it makes looking for compositions very difficult. At a glance, some shots look generally okay on location and on the tiny screen, but looking at them at a bigger screen, I realized that I include quite a number of distractions in the shots. And because of the fixed f2 aperture and the tiny screen, it became quite difficult to see whether I had the focus nailed correctly. So for example, in this photo that I apparently focused on an ugly patch of trees instead of the background. When you're on the photo mode, you can only really select the aspect ratio of 16:9 or 1:1 format, which aren't as common in photos like the typical 3:2 or 4:3 in landscape photography. So that means that you may have to crop your already limited resolution if you want to prefer to stick to those general standards. I also tried the panorama mode on this camera for the very first time and I actually found it pretty cool, where it takes 9 different square images and then stitches them together to form a 3:3 photo. Pretty convenient if you want wider shots, and I actually like this image where I was able to include more of the foreground. A downside though is that the output is already in JPEG format, so you have limited editing bandwidth, so it would have been nice if the camera already saved the raw photos so that you can stitch them together later on for editing, but that's going to be a minor thing. And now for the final set of photos taken at golden hour, and again, I really like these results and would like to claim that these are indeed epic landscape photos, unless of course you really zoom in and pixel peep and say that there isn't really a lot of resolution. I would have to say that the dynamic range on this thing is fairly mind-blowing, considering the fact that it only has a tiny 1-inch sensor, and will already say that it takes much better photos than my iPhone camera. And since on that day I was able to take a few photos with my Sony camera with fancier lenses, putting a few photos side by side, and of course the Sony would have a lot better image quality. And I don't know about you, but to me these are already acceptable in terms of a comparison, especially if you only intend to, let's say, post them on social media or save them on your phone. For my favorite shot of the day, it would have to be this one because of the sunset egg yolk you can see in the background. You can also see the prominent Guan Yin or Lady Buddha as part of the composition, and the detailed contours of the mountain range, making for what I think is a very balanced composition. And so, can the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 take epic landscape photos? Probably, maybe as a backup camera or as a last resort, and definitely it's odd to use as a camera, but it can do the job considering the limitations. So hopefully you enjoyed this odd thought experiment, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.